What if sacred places weren't just built on earth, but carved from salt, born from fire, hidden in stone, or floating in legend? Around the world, there are churches and chapels that defy logic, gravity, and sometimes, even time itself. From an underground cathedral deep inside a Colombian salt mine, to a church rising from volcanic rock in Mexico, to a frozen tower in Iceland that echoes the northern lights. These are not just places of worship, they are masterpieces of wonder. You're about to discover 10 of the world's most extraordinary churches, and the breathtaking stories behind them. This is not just a journey across continents, it's a journey through the soul of humanity. Number 1. San Juan Parangaricutiro Church, Mexico. In the heart of the state of Michoacán, where the land is fertile and culture pulses from every corner, there once stood a small town called San Juan Parangaricutiro. It was a place like many others in the heartland of Mexico, cobbled streets, flowered plazas, and a parish church that was both the spiritual and social center of the community. There, among fields of maize and centuries-old traditions, the people lived from what the generous earth provided. Agriculture, handicrafts, and local trade sustained a close-knit community whose roots stretched as far back as the 16th century. But in 1943, something extraordinary and devastating changed the fate of San Juan Parangaricutiro forever. On an otherwise ordinary day, the earth trembled, split open, and before the astonished eyes of its residents, a volcano was born. Pericutine. It was as if the earth, tired of holding back its power, had decided to cry out. The eruption lasted for years. Slow but relentless, lava engulfed everything in its path. Homes, streets, dreams. The entire town was consumed, turned into a black sea of molten rock. Everything. Except for one symbol. Rising solitary above the petrified expanse, the bell tower of the old San Juan Parangaricutiro church endured. Today, it stands like a heroic ghost of destruction, a grey stone spire defying the volcano itself, a silent testament to human faith and resilience. Visiting the Church of San Juan Parangaricutiro is a near-surreal experience. To reach it, one must depart from the city of Uruapan, Michoacán's second-largest city, and travel around 30 minutes by car to the nearby community of Angahuan. From there, local horsemen offer guided rides or walks along volcanic rock trails to the site of the buried church. The journey is one through time and memory. There are no paved roads to the tower. You walk along paths through fields of hardened lava, where silence is broken only by the wind and the sound of your own steps. There are no regular masses, no orderly pews. There is no roof. But there is faith, and plenty of it. Pilgrims, tourists, and the curious leave flowers, light candles, and offer prayers at the makeshift altar that still stands within the remains of the church's nave. It is hard not to feel moved when touching the blackened stones, silent witnesses to a lost town. It feels as though every fragment of the old San Juan Parangaricutiro still murmurs the stories of the lives once lived there. There is no fixed entrance fee, but it is courteous to support the local communities by hiring guides and purchasing traditional crafts. The experience is as authentic as it is powerful, and at sunset, when golden light caresses the lone tower, the scene becomes the stuff of living legend. San Juan Parangaricutiro is more than a buried church. It is an eternal reminder that even in the face of volcanoes, faith can endure. Number 2. Borgund Stave Church, Norway. Deep within the Norwegian fjords, where mist dances between pine-covered mountains and the sound of rivers echoes through untouched forests, lies one of the most extraordinary witnesses to faith and medieval history. Borgund Stave Church. The small village of Borgund, nestled among vast valleys and crystal-clear waters, is today a place of serene tranquility, where life flows at a gentle pace. Its few residents make their living through tourism, sheep farming, and small-scale agriculture that bravely contends with the harsh climate. In summer, hikers and cyclists explore the scenic trails. In winter, the hush of the snow lends the place an almost sacred stillness. At the heart of this untamed nature stands Borgund Church, a structure that feels as though it has stepped straight out of a Viking saga or a long-forgotten legend. Built around 1180, during Norway's Christianization, the church was the labor of the local community itself. It is a perfect example of the renowned stave churches, wooden churches built with astonishing craftsmanship, where every detail bears the weight of ancient symbolism. At first glance, Borgund Church resembles a vessel ready to sail the seas of time. Its upright wooden staves support tiered roofs layered like the scales of a dragon. Intricate carvings blend Christian iconography with Norse mythology, crosses entwined with serpents, dragon heads carved at the roof's edges, standing guard against evil spirits. Reaching Borgund calls for a spirit of adventure. The church lies about 3 hours' drive from Bergen, Norway's second-largest city. Scenic roads and mountain tunnels guide visitors through breathtaking landscapes, a journey that becomes an experience in itself. Today, the church serves as a historical museum open to the public. Though it no longer holds regular services, its interior preserves the spiritual aura of centuries past. Rustic pews, sturdy timber columns, and a simple altar lit by the soft light filtering through narrow openings. The space is modest. It could hold around 100 people, seated as they would have been in ancient times, with little comfort but deep reverence. The floor still bears uneven planks, and the scent of aged timber surrounds those who enter, like an embrace from history itself. Visiting Borgund Stave Church is more than admiring a piece of architecture. It is to feel the living transition between two worlds, that of the Norse gods and that of the medieval Christ. It is to hear, in the creak of the wooden boards beneath your feet, echoes of ancestral ceremonies, silent vows, and the eternal human longing for the divine. Amidst timeless forests and valleys seemingly suspended beyond the grasp of modernity, Borgund remains a sanctuary for those still seeking stories told not only through stone, but through wood. Number 3. Chapel of the Transfiguration, USA. Amid vast golden prairies and the dramatic peaks of the Teton Range, there lies a place where the stillness of nature meets human devotion in perfect harmony. The Chapel of the Transfiguration. Located in Jackson Hole, a serene valley in the state of Wyoming, life here has always been shaped by the forces of the natural world. Locals make their living from cattle ranching, tourism, and environmental conservation, in a region where the rhythm of life follows the seasons. In summer, hikers and photographers flock to the national parks. In winter, snow blankets the land, transforming it into a paradise for skiers. And it is in this epic setting that the Chapel of the Transfiguration rises, simple in structure, yet profoundly grand in spirit. Built in 1925 by Anglican missionaries, the chapel had a clear mission: to serve the small but devout Christian community of the region. But the architects went a step further. They shaped the chapel to embrace the landscape itself, turning nature into a living testament of the divine. As you step through the rustic wooden door, your gaze is immediately drawn to what appears to be a framed painting behind the altar, A large rectangular window reveals the majesty of the Teton Mountains, their snow-capped spires reaching skyward like natural cathedrals. It's a view that takes your breath away, as though the altar were placed there not to compete, but to exalt the beauty of creation. Getting to the Chapel of the Transfiguration is a fairly easy journey. It lies just a few minutes' drive from downtown Jackson, within the boundaries of Grand Teton National Park. Well-maintained roads and peaceful trails lead visitors to this hidden gem. The chapel is small and welcoming. It seats around 50 people on simple, handmade wooden pews. Services are still held regularly, especially during the warmer months, when the surrounding landscape bursts into vibrant color. Inside, the scent of aged timber mingles with the crisp mountain air. A Bible on the altar, and the sound of the wind whispering through the nearby trees. Visiting the Chapel of the Transfiguration is more than a sightseeing stop, it's an invitation to deep reflection. It's a moment to feel humbled by the grandeur of nature, yet somehow intrinsically part of it, as though every mountain, every stone, every breeze were whispering an ancient prayer. In a world that seems to rush ever faster, the Chapel of the Transfiguration stands as a quiet reminder that sometimes, the greatest act of faith is simply to pause and admire. Number 4. Chapel of the Holy Grail, Spain. In the vibrant heart of Valencia, where the scent of orange blossom mingles with the spice of centuries-old traditions, stands a cathedral that is far more than just an architectural gem. It is the guardian of one of Christianity's greatest mysteries. Valencia is a city both alive and timeless, at once modern and steeped in history. Renowned for its spectacular festivals like Las Fallas and for its sun-kissed Mediterranean beaches, it is also a destination of faith and quiet contemplation. Among its people, many earn their living through tourism, agriculture, and the lively commerce that fills the colorful, history-soaked streets. Within the grand interior of Valencia Cathedral, hidden among its lofty Gothic naves and soaring towers, lies a space of pure reverence, the Chapel of the Holy Grail. Built in the 14th century as part of the cathedral's Gothic expansion, the chapel, with its carved arches and golden-hued stone walls, radiates an air of mystery and sanctity. But it is what it holds that draws pilgrims and curious minds from across the globe, a delicate agate chalice that many believe to be the true Holy Grail, the very cup used by Jesus Christ at the Last Supper. Modest in size and unassuming in appearance for something bearing such spiritual weight, the chalice is crafted from fine agate, dated to the 1st century BC, and rests upon a richly adorned gold base, a later addition, made centuries after its creation. Its story weaves through time like a tapestry threaded with faith, legend, and power, from Jerusalem to Rome, through forgotten monasteries and the Spanish royal court, until it found its resting place here, in Valencia. The Chapel of the Holy Grail is open to the public as part of the cathedral visit. Getting there is straightforward. The city is well connected by train, bus, and domestic flights, and the cathedral sits right in the historic center, just a stone's throw from lively plazas and sunlit cafes. Inside the chapel, silence reigns. The space is intimate, around 50 people can gather to gaze upon the relic. Special masses and religious ceremonies are held before the chalice, especially during significant feast days, when the atmosphere becomes all the more charged with emotion. Valencia, with its Mediterranean spirit and warm hospitality, has much to offer the visitor, but it is before the Holy Grail that many find an unexpected connection to faith, history, and the enduring mystery that has captivated humanity for over 2,000 years. Among legends and relics, the Chapel of the Holy Grail keeps alive the hope that some secrets, the most sacred of all, may, in fact, lie closer than we think. Number 5. Hallgrímar Church, Iceland. Imagine a land where fire and ice dance side by side. where sleeping volcanoes and eternal glaciers shape the landscape like brushstrokes left by ancient gods. It is in this very setting that Reykjavik rises, Iceland's vibrant capital, a city where tradition, modernity, and the raw force of nature coexist in harmony. Reykjavik is a city of contrasts. Quaint, colorful houses share the streets with sleek modern cafes, while street artists rub shoulders with fishermen whose families have drawn their livelihood from the icy waters of the North Atlantic for generations. Here, fishing, tourism, and technological innovation shape the everyday rhythm of a people renowned for their resilience and warmth. And rising on the horizon, a monumental vision pierces the sky, Hallgrímskirkja. Getting there is both easy and enjoyable. Reykjavik is compact and made for walking. If you're staying in the city center, a short stroll is all it takes before the church's towering spire comes into view, like something rising naturally from the Icelandic earth itself. Designed by architect Guðjón Samuelsson, the church took more than 40 years to complete, from 1945 until 1986. Samuelsson drew inspiration from the volcanic basalt formations that mark Iceland's dramatic landscape, crafting a structure that feels at once earthly and otherworldly. Every curve and column of the church echoes the lava pillars sculpted by time, such as those seen in the famed Svartifoss waterfall. But Hallgrímskirkja, as it is called in Icelandic, is not merely a tribute to nature. It also honors Hallgrímur Pétursson, one of Iceland's most revered 17th century poets and clergymen, whose hymns still stir the hearts of Icelanders today. His spiritual legacy resonates through the silent white walls of the church. Upon entering, visitors are enveloped by an atmosphere of near supernatural calm. The interior is minimalist, even austere, yet it holds a beauty that speaks directly to the soul, a quiet invitation to pause and reflect. In the simple altar, in the pale wooden pews, everything seems designed to quiet the mind and lift the spirit. The church remains active, hosting regular services and sacred music concerts that echo through its halls thanks to a spectacular organ, 15 meters tall. Standing at 74.5 meters, Hallgrímskirkja is the tallest building in Iceland. It can seat around 1,200 people, and for those wishing to climb even higher, a lift takes visitors to the top of the tower, where a breathtaking panoramic view of Reykjavik, the sea, and the distant mountains awaits. It's the kind of view that, once seen, gives one a deeper understanding of the soul of Iceland. Hallgrímskirkja is more than just a church. It is a sculpture of faith, nature, and identity. A place where every stone, every architectural line, seems to tell a story of perseverance, hope, and a profound connection to the eternal. And anyone who visits Reykjavik without stepping inside Hallgrímskirkja misses more than just a landmark, they miss a chance to feel the beating heart of Iceland.